What's up, junkies? Welcome back in for another edition of Pigskin Junkies. Myself, Michael Larson, the big brother Jared Larson, and the one, the only Scott Panza here to recap the weekend that was of football. Now, we still got the Sunday night game going to be going on or kicking off here momentarily as we are recording, and we have the Monday night, which we will preview later in the show. Now, a couple housekeeping. Please continue, if you would be so kind, to rate, review, subscribe the podcast on iTunes. I meant to write down the numbers, but I looked it up, and I think about 97% of everyone who downloads our podcast is subscribed. So that's good, and we appreciate it.
I want to know who's downloading and not subscribing. That's what I'm very intrigued by that, whatever that subset 3% is.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. So if you would be so kind and continue to do that, once again, follow us at pigskin_junkies on the Twitter sphere. Always fun to interact with everyone, especially when I forget to post a podcast and I get everyone just barking down my neck, and I love it. I love the heat. It just shows me you care, which makes me not want to
actually, it's like exciting because that means people are actually anticipating the release.
Exactly. So, fellas, I mean, I guess, Scott, I'll let you do NFL first here, and then, Jared, you can talk your NFL, and then transition into your college, and I'll follow up with my college, and we'll flow that way, and then we'll get into Monday Night Football.
Sure. I mean,
things.
Another whiff of a weekend, 1-3 so far in Super Contest with Giants. They came out flat, got down 14-0. Now, disclaimer, I didn't watch much football today. As I mentioned on the pod on Thursday, I had some personal things today, so I did get to watch it, but I know they had the ball to go ahead by 4 and would have been the cover, but didn't happen. Spike the Colts was second favorite, and Jared's Wonka pick of the weekend. They off the bye, they took it to the Texans, and they continue to own the Texans, and that could be their division to win. Lost Raiders, just thoroughly manhandled all day by the Packers. It looked like Rodgers 5 touchdowns.
Yep. It's good you didn't see that one. Actually, check our buddy Michael Lombardi's timeline.
Yeah, ugly.
Carr fumbled it out of the back of the end zone, trying to dive for the pylon for a touchback. Packers went down and scored, and then scored coming out of the half, so it went from like potentially getting tight to just bloodbath, and then Rodgers was. I mean, again, it's one of those things where like you'll never know, but. Because Rodgers was just spinning it in the second half, but it just was a terrible turn of a couple minutes.
I saw it looked like because I was just following along on my phone a little bit, and it looked like they had the ball on the goal line twice later in the game and just couldn't punch it in, or at some point in the game. So Puker and Niners lost by a hook. What are you gonna do? And then Circa was just a mishmash of mediocrity. Had a bunch of Giants whiffs, Raiders whiff, Bills whiff, Niners push, had the Titans and the Colts and the Rams, and then the Bears. I mean, just pathetic performance today. So a pretty disappointing weekend. Back to back. Luckily, I mean, right now it's Super Contest. I need my Monday nighter to keep a prayer. And Circa, I'm still right in the mix, but need to start clipping 5-0s. And luckily in Gold, no one really took off from the pack, and I'm at 2-2 with the Monday nighter pending. So, mediocre, and it's pretty frustrating. Just some of these lists are just brutal, and then being ripe in consensus for the second straight weekend is also extremely frustrating. So got caught up in the groupthink again. So take it back to the drawing board for next weekend for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. One of my biggest things is you try to not be results oriented. You're like, okay, why did I pick this game? Then you watch it, and then okay, would I make that bet again? And I wasn't just trying to blow smoke up your ass with the Redskins, the Raiders thing. I feel like that was potentially A bet that I would have made again, a couple coins bounced the wrong way. Now that's not to say, Bills never outside the number. There were a couple of games where it's like, okay, just the thesis, and I was definitely wrong on the Bears. I make it kind of a point to not listen to anything earlier in the week. Apparently that was like super consensus, everyone in the boat on the Bears, and they just got pounded. I mean, thumped. The score final was whatever, but they got crushed.
They were. It was 36-25 final. It was 36-10 in reality. 2 garbage touchdowns. I mean, Sean Payton, coach of the year right now, has to be.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I've underestimated him this season, and he's just nailing it with Bridgewater. Kamara out, and they thrust Latavius Murray in there, and he just goes off. I mean, just really impressive the last few weeks. And they've been in big game spots. They haven't had cupcakes at all, and they beat them all. So extremely impressive Saints.
Yeah, very impressive.
They went up to Seattle. They beat them up in Seattle. I mean, just really impressed with the Saints right now. And, they might be the best team in the NFC when Breeze comes back.
I was going to say, I think they're the best team in the NFC regardless, as currently constituted. Now, the Rams will probably have something to say about that after their showing today, and maybe even the Vikings. But, the Bears it was 36-10, and the Bears' only touchdown was a Cordell Patterson 102-yard touchdown return.
Which looked great on Skycam.
Trubisky jamming in the late garbage like stats and touchdowns is the most Trubisky thing ever. He stinks. So
bad. He's terrible.
No other way to say it. So my picks, Scott hit it already. Colts, Wonkavator, cash it. Led the whole way, wire to wire. That one felt nice. Vikings also looked pretty good against the Lions. 1 o'clock, Kirky indoors. Just jam it down. Jam down the bets. The Bengals bungled so hard. Jacksonville scored 9 points in the first half, just begging for Cincinnati at home, still winless, trying to get off the schneid like, hey, please come just take this game. And they didn't do it, and then they turned it over a bunch and pick sixes, just a bunch of other nonsense bullshit that, the Jags wound up blowing them out. And then I have the Monday night pending in Super Contest, and then what was my circa? I think I did one different. Yeah, I flipped Seahawks for the Monday night, so I already got a loser there, which is just they did not look good. So that was NFL card, as Scott alluded to, nothing great. We'll call it middling, either 2-3, 2-2, just kind of this middle of the road nonsense. College was same thing. Okay, winner on Auburn, never in doubt, bloodbath. Washington, that would be an exhibit where I kind of like the process. Oregon got a turnover late in the game, scored a touchdown, wound up winning by 4. Washington wasn't able to convert on a 4th and 2 at the end of the game. Just a lot of those things where, again, you start flipping coins and it goes against you. I'm not necessarily sold on Oregon. Still not sold on Oregon, I should say. LSU -18, easy winner, never close. Oklahoma State wound up losing outright to Baylor. Bit surprised by that. Tulane, bloodbath. Ole Miss pushed the 7. Candidly, I'm surprised that they wound up pushing. They led most of that game and just wilted at the end. But that's what Ole Miss does. And then Wake Forest, winner against Florida State. Florida. I mean, Willie Taggart's got to get fired soon.
So much money.
He's so bad. They're hopeless. You're losing to Wake Forest. Think about that. Wake Forest.
I know, and it's not basketball.
Yeah.
But they're not a basketball school anymore, so.
That's fair.
They're actually, I like their coach. I like their football coach. I think they're a good program now. That's not saying much in the SEC, but.
So Jared's total 21, 20, and 1 so far on the college football season. I'm 20 and 18 after this weekend, going a nice 2-2. North Carolina looked like they were going to run away with that one early and then had their chances. Once it hits overtime and your spread's 3.5, you're kind of SOL. So
roll dice.
Yeah, so they had Virginia Tech miss a field goal, and I go, well, that's great, but my spread's 3.5. So they're going to just try and run the ball, get 3 or 4 yards, center it up, and kick a field goal. And, of course, they shank it, and that was in the second overtime. They ended up to play 6. They lose. So therefore, that was a loser for me. And then I'm trying to think of my other ones.
Arizona State.
Arizona State just did not leave it on the grass. They didn't even show up at all. Herm, that was kind of the weirdest Arizona State performance I had seen. Pretty spot on with a USC prediction. Someone's an idiot. And Khalil Tate had a great, 2 games his freshman year and hasn't really done anything since. Yeah. Everyone was talking about how this guy was going to potentially win a Heisman and under someone's offense was going to look great, blah, 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 blah. USC comes out and absolutely curbs him. And then Jared kind of already talked about it a little bit. Auburn was, I guess, playing around for about 2 quarters and then just decided to play football again.
I can't wait for this game at LSU, our defense against that offense.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be...
Are you guys going?
No.
It's in Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. And we never play well there.
No.
Ever.
So that's very scary. It'll be an interesting one, but we'll save that one. Jared and I talked about go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's pros are going to be on the field on Saturday. This isn't like directional U versus Rutgers. You're talking about strength versus strength. Our defense is mostly pros. Their offense is mostly pros. It'll be a great matchup, and unfortunately, it's at their place. But they have been, just moving the ball with whatever they desire all season, and our defense is really good. So I'm excited to see that, just as a fan of football.
What's that spread going to be?
Probably 10 or 11.
That's what I was going to say.
Really?
Probably like 10 and a half.
Yeah, I'll be on it. I'll be on them if it's anything more than that. On Auburn, that is. A little teaser for everybody. If you click. I'll actually look it up on Circa right now. Go ahead, Micah.
No, I was just going to say, fun news for Jared and I is that College Game Day announcing that they're going to be making the old trip to Brookings, South Dakota for SDSU, North Dakota. I'll say South Dakota State for those of you who don't think I'm talking about the Aztecs.
I think you're talking about San Diego State.
Yeah. Playing
Anytime
North
I
Dakota
abbreviate
State.
SD, like if we go there for Christmas or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to SD. They're like, oh man, it's a long flight. And I just usually don't even say anything. Just like, yep, long flight. Bye.
Weather's a little different between those two.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. I think that's going to be very exciting for, Lee Corso. I wonder if they're going to bring his bison down when the bison travel to Brookings. Because
on the road, maybe.
Yeah, because they named it after him. It'll be fun. I like when they do that. Now, I did see a funny joke that was saying South Dakota State needs to send a bouquet of flowers to Illinois as a thank you, because otherwise Game Day would have for sure been in Columbus
Ohio
State, Wisconsin.
Auburn number 12.5.
Ooh.
So if you're listening, grab it now. I'm telling you, I'll be on it. Yeah, it's a little high. Ohio State, Wisconsin, 14. That's also a wow.
So insane.
Can't believe Wisconsin lost this weekend. 30-point
faves. Yeah, that's a tough one.
And just to add to the whole,
swallow.
I know we talked about it last week, the misery of Minnesota sports. If you look, when they showed Big Ten highest spread, like outright losers, Gophers are number 1 on that list. I think it was 36 versus Northwestern.
Nice.
Well, yeah.
Minnesota sports misery. Scott, quick preview before we go into Monday night. I'll go in this direction. How good do you think Cousins plays against his Redskins on Thursday night at home?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about this game because you have Kirk Cousins, who's on absolute fire, versus Skins team, who looks like trash. But now Kirk is in prime time. And Kirk in prime time has never been good. So what do you do in this spot? Because they're going to be laying more than 14 points. I looked at the look-ahead lines already. It's over 14. So do you plug your nose and take the Skins, or do you ride the wave that Kirky's on right now? I don't know.
Where is it? Minneapolis?
It's in Minneapolis. It's in U.S. Bank.
Ugh. Pass.
Who knows?
Because I don't know what the number's going to be, but I'm with Scott. It's going to be 12, 13, 14. It's got to be.
I think it's 14.5 right now.
Yeah. That's Barftown, USA.
It is very
Sure.
that's a gross line, but I think it's going to be I don't think Kirk's going to have to throw it much because I think Dalvin Cook's going to be and Dalvin's going to be enough by himself to just take care of business. And that defense, the Redskins aren't scoring. Now, Xavier Rhodes has looked like absolute dung these past couple weeks, but Daniil Hunter is going to have 10 sacks by himself, I think, in this game.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what the actual line is.
Who had Matt Stafford and Kirk Cousins throwing for a combined 8 touchdowns today? I mean, whoa. Where did that come from? Poor Lions, Roar could be restored. They really could. They could be 4-1-1. They could be 5-1 right now. It's a shame.
That team got
Patricia's gonna.
See, but maybe this is a perspective that Micah and I have, but like this, they've been doing this for 8 years. Yeah. When did Stafford get there? 8 years ago, 9 years ago? I mean, literally, since he showed up, they've been like, wow, this team should be good, and they just can't get. It's like the Bengals. It's the NFC version of the Bengals in the North, kind of close, should be better, just can't ever get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. He was 2009 overall #1 pick. So, yeah. He's been there a long time.
And don't look now, but the Cowboys have come out hotter than Jason Garrett's hair, and they're already up, pending this field goal, about to be up 14-0 on the Eagles with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Whoa!
Garrett's probably doing the clap. He's got the clap going on.
Hopefully he doesn't have the clap, but
idiot.
you know.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot funnier if he did.
I was gonna say if he did. I mean, just add it to the list of things to bust the guy up about: the red hair, the stupid clap, the actual clap.
2 fumbles already. 2 lost fumbles.
Brutal. Not the start you're looking for.
I guess
I'm talking about like actually watching. Yeah.
I guess I'll be watching The Affair at 9 o'clock and not this game. Forget it.
That's what I was like. Oh man, I'm kind of pumped to like watch this game. I don't have anything on it either, but I'm like, this should be. I said it on the preview. Like, this is what NBC dreams of: huge divisional matchup, tons of people watching, and then just straight grease fire.
Which also, Aikman looked like a lost dog today without Joe Buck in the booth with him. The guy is just. It's like, okay, guys, I'm not calling. He always looks high. He's like, I'm not calling a Cowboys game. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Where's Joe? Where's Joe Buck?
Where's Joe? Cold. What the hell? Make it happen.
So Monday night game. I don't even remember who it was. But we'll talk Monday night game. We'll give the people. We promised them we'd hold out. We're going to give the people what they want. They've listened to us blab about our picks. And Jason Garrett having the clap. So, here we go. Monday Night Football. How are we feeling?
I'm jumping on. I'm going to fly with the Jets against my Patriots. I think 9.5 is a bit too many points. I've seen it oscillate the line between 9.5 and 10. If you can get a 10, I think it's a great spot. So CJ Mosley is coming back. I remember last year I was at the Pats-Jets game. The Pats were laying 13. They won by 14, and Jake McCown started that game. Now our defense is improved, but our offense, we have a lot of question marks right now. There's a lot of injuries. Our top 2 tight ends are out for this game. Josh Gordon's out. Offensive line question marks. I mean, they're going to win this game. The Pats are going to beat the Jets, but it's going to be a close game, probably a field goal type game. 9.5 points is way too many points in division. Adam Gase, typically a good home coach. I think CJ Mosley is just such a beast for this defense, and they're really rallying behind Sam Darnold. So I'll scoop and eat all those points all day.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also on the Jets. I don't know. I feel like the Patriots are laying this number purely based on reputation. When you look at who they've played, an impressive win to open the season at home against the Steelers, at Dolphins, it's become clear how good they are versus Jets. at Bills, at Redskins, and then home Giants. So we haven't seen a whole ton from them, and certainly not on the road. Won a close one against the Bills, and then beat up on a putrid Redskins team. So I think the Jets are completely different with Sam Darnold. That's not any breaking news to anybody here. Luke Falk is terrible. We had mentioned earlier how on the preview podcast how we clearly missed an opportunity betting against him, but I think this Jets team is a lot closer to what you saw last week and what you saw in the first 3 quarters against the Bills than what you saw in those middle, 2 or 3 or 4 weeks where Darnold was out with mono. So this is the Jets Super Bowl, division rival at home, already revenging a loss from earlier in the year. I like the spot. As Scott said, the Patriots are going to find a way to win the game, but you got a lot of wiggle room with 9.5, even 10 points.
So there you have it. Fellas, you got anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I hope he's not a square dog.
Yeah, my square picks were just total whiffs this past weekend. What's lost in all my misery right now is that the Bills, another step closer to our over-under. So just thrilled about that. And, Buffalo.
What's the total? 6.5?
6.5. And they're at 5. They're 5-1. So, just awesome. They got another game. They have the Redskins and the Dolphins still, and a litany of other games to get it done. So, really thrilled. I think their game next weekend against the Eagles is going to be must watch. Jared and I were talking about going up there, but I'm not going to make that trip. Sad Z's about it. I might go up to Pats Browns, but I don't know. It's a 4:25 kick. And the problem with the 4:25 kick is I'm not home until midnight at best, so it just screws up my entire week. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
Can't get up early and go to the gym.
Exactly. I need my routine, friend.
True. Got to stick in it. Well, I guess I'm going to have to find something else to watch on TV, not Eagles Cowboys right now.
Yeah,
just cram the first 4 seasons of The Fair over the next week, and then you can pick up season 5 and the last few episodes. For the listeners, The Affair, awesome show on Showtime. Season 5, fantastic.
I feel like Scott and I have to do call ourselves film junkies or something, and do a quick 15-second side blurb at the end of every podcast.
Yeah, you guys know the movies. I don't watch movies.
I'm excited, Micah. Glass is on HBO, so I have that in my queue to watch. I don't know if you saw it.
I haven't seen that
you
one.
I
didn't see Glass in theaters, but I saw Unbreakable and
I saw
Split.
Unbreakable.
Yeah,
and Split.
It's the third part of that trilogy. Glass.
Okay.
Nerd fest.
Glass
Jared,
man.
you can use my HBO and watch it.
I
Ooh,
will.
sick burn.
Yeah, you're $12 a month.
False. That comes in my cable.
Even better, even cheaper. Reburn even better than I thought initially.
Ooh, burn again. So that is going to do it for this week's edition of Pigskin Junkies. Once again, I'm Michael Larson. That's Jared Larson, and then the and one and only. Butchered that one. Scott Panza. Anyways, we're out here. Thanks for tuning in.
Manny Unk.
Passy Yunk.